Welcome
Live.
everybody. Okay, to a Wednesday edition of Hot and Stuff. This is the Fluffer Show. So I'm Sean Arrett. I forgot what I normally say, but hi Joe.
Love the intro. Love it. Uh,
Mhm.
I'll go on my normal ego boost here, and with a very sexy, attractive, very distinguished, always narcissistic, but never vain. Joseph Michael Sontag, or as some prefer, Joe M. Sontag, or as the Pope likes to call me, JMS. That's a whole other story we're gonna get into later.
Right on. Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So what's shaking? We're coming off of two great shows back to back.
Dude, you want to talk about being on cloud nine for the weekend. And I gotta give Playful Gorilla props because coming off the show right after we're talking to Brett Booth, and I didn't think I could get any higher than Brett Booth. Like that was a highlight of my career or whatever you want to call it. And then coming down and doing the show with Alex was really awesome.
Hell
Was
yeah.
really, really awesome. That dude was energetic and very passionate about his projects, and he's the kind of personality that really kind of pulls you in and makes you excited about stuff, makes you want to work on shit. So he was a
Oh yeah.
wonderful, wonderful guest to have. Definitely have
Yeah.
to have him back on, as well as Brett.
hmm
What can you say, man? That Friday show was awesome.
Yeah, we got
Awesome.
some great reception from it. From everybody, from my some of my friends. They were making fun of my accent. They're like, "You sound like
Of
you were gonna pull
course.
up in the car with your cousin Paulie collecting the rent money
Nice.
or the from the gambling." From I'm like, all right, you say so.
Yeah, I
But
think
that
that's
was
what makes
great.
I think that's what makes the show unique, dude. You got I mean, Ott and stuff. We wouldn't have that cool ass name if it wasn't for your cool ass fucking Jersey accent. So,
Yeah.
what up, JoJo?
Hey JoJo, shaking.
Thank you for joining us. As always, appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Very, 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 very much. On a Wednesday when it's like energy draining. It's been hot as a motherfucker this week. Been outside a
Mhm.
lot. Oh, tell you what. Angry artist in the house.
Very cool.
Hell
Very
yeah.
cool. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
What up, man?
Shaking.
Ah, so Sean,
Yeah, man.
on the Art and Stuff show this Friday, what do we got going on?
This Friday we have my best friend Mark Polton, uh, from Primetime Polton, co-creator of Coney Waves, A Cat Named Haiku, Graveyard Shift, U.S. Assassin, Sea Dog, and codenamed Kill Switch, and a ton of other properties that are going to be dropping pretty soon. That escapes my mind as of now, but it's great. I talk to Mark almost every day, so I'm like, I got to think of new questions to ask you. He's like, all right.
That's a good point. This will be the first time I've talked to him in a few years, so it'll
hmm
be a fun show.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
wish
you
it was
come up with the
Friday too.
questions. Yeah,
I'll, I
I
will
wish
come
you
up with
would.
as many as I can.
Yeah, yeah.
Casey, what's going on? 100% love. Back at you. Thank you for checking out the show.
Thank you.
Um,
But yeah, no, it's gonna be great. I asked him if we could go over like crowdfunding and how like crowdfunding 101, because we're gonna be tipping our toes into that very shortly, and nobody better to talk about that than him, you know.
that would be a great,
So
yeah, that'd be a great subject matter because I mean, you got how many campaigns now he's been successful on? The two of the grave, or yeah, two graveyard shifts. Uh,
mhm. Code Sea Dog and Codename Kill
Thank you,
Switch.
man. That
It's
fucking
a tongue
name,
twister.
it
It's like
trips me up every
oh,
time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
American
Again, like
Assassin.
prom. Yeah, U.S. Assassin. They're gonna be doing come on down. They're
Come
gonna be
on
doing like
on.
a second chance for people that didn't get in on the mix for getting the supplemental book. Not the supplemental book, but if you if you, I'm tired. I'm sorry. If you donate it or whatever the hell, if you got the
Hmm.
campaign for Graveyard Shift 2, they reach a certain level, and that was a freebie book.
Yeah.
So what they got is they got a good amount extra that they printed up. So if you missed out, you could you could get the volume 1 of U.S. Assassin. It'll be ready to go. Like once the campaign is done, it's ready to get shipped and to go out. I know Mike's gonna come out to Jersey in a couple of weeks or maybe a couple months. I don't know, like before the summer. Well, the campaign has to happen so he can sign the books.
Right.
And I think he just finished. Yeah, he finished drawing volume 2 of U.S. Assassin. So that's going to be going to coloring before the campaign for volume 2 starts. And he already said that, but I can't say what. He already started volume 3, so he's ahead of the game
Damn,
on
man.
that one. Yeah,
Hell
he's
yeah.
kicking
Over
major
with it.
ass.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I got. Because I backed Graveyard Shift too. I got the supplemental book or whatever you want to call it of U.S. Assassins. I was pretty excited when that became like a
Well,
stretch
freebie. We're gonna say freebie because
freebie.
there's a supplement book that has like Mike does a story in it written by Mark. I think Von Klaus. There's my man.
He does
Hey,
sound cool.
he's
I
very dashing. He's very dashing. Hey, brother, I miss you. I'll see you soon.
was
I believe Von Klaus. You know, if Mark's in the chat, refresh the names because I can't remember who was in the supplement talent search that you guys did.
oh, they did.
I think Render Contender is it? I might be mistaken. I'm horrible with names. But yeah, they did. Him and John did like a talent search, and
Oh,
it was Von Klaus as a writer, and I think Cal was one of the writers as well. But yeah, I'm really excited to get those in hand. Mark was just out by John's two as of now, a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, signing all of them. Cal Jameson and Render
Cop-
Cobter.
Copter?
Cobter?
How do you pronounce it? Copter?
Is that is
Copter?
that was that what Copter? Do the story. Yeah.
Ben Klaus
Von
and Todd
Klaus
Oh man, horrible names. Horrible.
Mulreen. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Mulrooney?
why do these people have hard pronounced names? Like that's a hard pronounced name. Contender.
Contender.
There you I'm a contender. I'm really excited. Yeah, like Mark went out, hung out with John. They did the signings of volume 2, and John just posted a picture on Twitter not too long ago, I believe, yeah, today, of a bunch of packages getting ready to ship out. So if you were on that, check your emails because you'll get
I gotta
your
check mine.
notifications on when and what for the statuses. So
Yeah,
within the next couple of weeks, everything will be out.
I'm really excited about getting Graveyard Shift because I missed out on the first campaign because it was before like I was just kind of getting back into the swing of things. I didn't even know what the hell crowdfunding was or what any of that shit was. I saw it one day on Facebook and I looked into it, but I was just like I don't know what this is, blah blah blah. So this time around, when the second campaign for Graveyard Shift went out, I was really pleased that John was doing issue 1 that you could buy a bundle of issue 1 and issue 2 together. And I was like, fuck yeah,
Mhm.
I'm jumping on this one. So this will be the first time even reading the book. So I'm pretty excited
Oh, it's awesome.
for that.
It's beautiful art. It's again greatly written. Just a
Appreciate it,
fun
Ziggy.
story.
Yeah, it seems
Fun
like it.
story. You know,
Every time I've
it's like
heard
this is
John
what I
talk
want.
about it, yeah, I mean, it's just, and it's cool. That style book. What's cool about that is it's a throwback to like the good old days of storytelling and action team books. It's like that X-Men meets the Universal Monsters kind of thing is the way I've heard John kind of explain it, and that's an awesome concept, and you don't have to have anything more than just something that's entertaining with some really good art. That's all I need.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have to give me anything more than that.
I don't need Shakespeare. Like
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
need.
I mean, just entertain me. That's
Yeah,
all I want in life.
yeah.
Entertainment. Whether it's music, whether it's comics, movies, just entertain me. Don't preach to me.
Play-Doh.
Entertain me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to getting Mark on. So that'll be a fun show. Everybody tune in Friday at 8:30
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. Yes, because we're both in the same time zone here. But you know, the notification will go out whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. You'll see it. Just tune in when it goes live.
Yeah, you should like, subscribe, hit notifications on both mine and Joe's YouTube channels. Mine's Sean Aaron, and Joe's is
Joe M. Sontag. Very easy to find.
easy enough.
Easy.
Like a
Subscribe,
Sunday,
like, share. You know,
easy like a Sunday morning.
take it to bed with you. You know, talk softly in the ears. Do weird stuff to it. Is all I'm saying.
Okay. All right, I like where we're going down. I like
You know,
this.
throwing it out there. You know, just let's get weird
Yeah.
with it. You know, let's
I
have a
love
good
that
time.
beard. Just dirty. just be gentle.
Well, sometimes.
Fuck me like you miss me.
Oh God.
So let's go on to how's our Reaper Destroyer coming along?
You know, good man. I actually got some time to actually work on it, which was nice because I don't always have all the time in the world to like to do work on my projects. This life, you know, stuff comes up. I'm glad you enjoy the craziness of this show, and I'm glad it doesn't turn too many people off because you know who knows what we're gonna say on this show as opposed to the Art and Stuff show where it's a little bit more reserved. But this show
I
is
have
like
no filter. I have no filter.
balls to the wall. Let's go.
Gabbers,
Um,
gifts, dildos.
so Monday I actually got a chance to draw for hours and which is Sean, you know, and any artist out there knows that if you get a chance to actually sit down for hours and get in that groove and just get going, you can actually accomplish a lot of stuff. Because I don't know how it is with you, but it usually takes me about, I would say, 20 minutes to get into a groove. You know, where actually, as soon as I gotta get settled down, I gotta get all my stuff in order. You know, it's just how I am as an artist. And then I gotta get the right music going to get me into the zone. And then I just start drawing.
Hanson.
Definitely Hanson. You know, gotta get some bop going on. You know, bop. That's I knew it. I knew if I started, somebody would finish it. Bring it. That's right. That's what I like to hear. But where was I? Got tripped up on the Hanson.
You're
Oh,
working on
so I'm still on page one, as everybody knows. I've been watching this show, and I'm trying to hammer that out. I'm trying to get it done so I can move on and get it off to other people that are waiting on it. But so I got a chance to work on it, and I got a lot accomplished. I'm not going to show it because I want it to be a surprise, but I got the majority of the page done, which was really nice. And you feel like you've accomplished something where you know you can get in that rut where that page is sitting there. You know you have to work on it. Time's ticking away, days are ticking away, and you don't see any production going. You can it almost can kind of depress you a little bit, if you know what I'm saying. Not really depression, you know, but it puts a cloud over your yeah, not all that, but you know, it puts a little bit of a cloud over your day when you can't work on the project, you know, and you're trying to bring it
right.
to
Oh
life.
yeah.
But no, that's what the status update of where that is. So we're charging along. You know, I've had really good meetings with some of the creative teams I've got on this, you know, including my writer. Talk to my writer once a week. I got a chance to have a really cool meeting with Andrew Dalhouse, face to face on streaming, which was awesome. Just talk about colors, color palette, what we're looking to do with the book. So that kind of stuff really it'll keep your juices flowing to get going on the project. If that doesn't
Yeah.
inspire you, I don't know what else will. You know, when you actually seeing it come together, at least up here.
Right.
I'm just getting excited just thinking about it right now. Like I would love to be drawing right now, but I also love doing the show with you. So I mean, you captivate me, Sean. You bring me to want to do this. So
I don't want to brag about it, but I will.
how about you, brother? How you doing on type one? How's that going?
Pretty good. Did a character design for the one character I have called Lynx, and you will find out about him in the pages of Type 1. I think I have it in the Facebook chat if you could pull it up. If not, no fucking worries.
Our chat?
Yeah. So just still working on the story. got the pages that I've had laid out, kind of working on here and there, tweaking them, and thankfully between Joe and Mark and our buddy Phil McNulty, like I workshop with the hell out of them. I'm like, what do you think of this? I'll send them whips, which is work in progress, not any dirty stuff yet. But I get really solid feedback. I get good opinions. I get a great editorial system essentially, and I'm very lucky to have everyone. And they just
Yeah,
try to keep me in
definitely.
check. They're like, do this. I'm like, no. I'm like, do it. I'm like, fuckers are right.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah.
I'm having to go back pretty far here, man. You want to just send it to me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just pretty much it. Just got some stuff going on. Just trying to go through the motions of that. And yeah. So oh yeah, hold on. Sorry people, sorry people, sorry
Yeah,
people.
sorry about that. Live stream,
Sorry.
trying to take care of stuff. There we go.
All right.
Uh,
So the first one
all
is kind of in
Oh, okay.
last May for MegaCon in Orlando. Heather Reed of Aces, shout out to Heather. She's our convention agent. She got a bunch of us like a condo to stay at for it. So one day before for this one where's my fucking camera? Whatever. We're just sitting at we're just kicking back, having some beers, relaxing after a night of just whatever. And I'm just sketching out a character, and for one of the stories, and it would have been Strees. And this was initially kind of a look I was going for. Unfortunately, I flatted the files when I saved it, but it's just a quick gesture, just a quick color theory. And then I went in back in September when I was redesigning Strees with the same color theory, but that's the body for the blue one where the 10-year-old dickhead's like, that's Sub-Zero. I'm like, no. But I like what I was going with this, so you recycled because recycling is great for a character by character links, and this is just again gesture shapes trying to get
Oh
color
yeah,
theories and stuff.
yeah,
It'll still get that Tron lighting will be onto it. It will be added and that will be explained once you purchase and
nice.
read Type 1 from Imaginary Tales Entertainment. Written and
Yeah.
drawn by
Now I
Sean.
remember when you showed me this a little while ago, and I really liked it because I really dug the color scheme. There's something
Yeah,
like that gold and blue
yeah,
that just I don't know, it just, especially once you get like the sheen in there and all the stuff that goes along with actually detailed and rendered and whatnot, like just the character sketch of it is pretty cool. I can kind of imagine what it's going to look like, and I'm really interested to see how your book is going to come along, man, because you got a lot of cool characters and cool designs that
yeah.
I'm waiting to
Thanks.
see the story come out. And I'm really looking forward to reading it.
Yeah, me too. No, but I'm really excited. Like again, like I got great support from you guys when I'm down or whatever, and it's like it makes it a pleasure to work on. As were some other stuff that I've worked on for myself, it just kind of seemed like a chore.
Yeah,
Just kind of trying to get it done just to get it done. But like with this, I think to quote Jack Kirby, but not really quote him, he's like, I see these stories. I create these stories. I live these stories. I live these characters. So like a lot of me is in all of these characters. Like
yeah,
when we are talking to Alex, he's like, how do you plot it out? How do you do this and that? And like I wasn't in the moment, but like I thought about it last night. I'm like, because these are part of me, like it's easier to do it because I know them. I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense or not, but I know who
no,
these
it makes
characters
perfect
are.
sense, dude.
I know their motivations.
Absolutely.
I know their beginning to end. Not there will be an end, but like I just know them. It's easier to work that way. It's like not moving around a chessboard, but like you're moving around their life. You're creating life in a sense. Without wearing
Yeah.
a condom.
It's really interesting when you are a creator and a writer when it comes to stuff like that, because much like you probably are, in my mind, I've been working on the Reaper Destroyer book for since 2006, on again, off again in my head as I've been progressing the story after I stopped doing it back in 2007, because I didn't get too far with it before some things changed. But like I've already got years of stuff in my head that these characters have done in my head already,
Yeah.
and nobody's even seen it. So it's like I can't wait to get it going because there's so many things I want to tell, and I know where I want to go with the character. And I'm sure that some of that might change a little bit and get tweaked when because me and my writer, we click very well. So I mean, he brings some good ideas, and that kind of
Me and
changes my
mine
thought.
too. I love my writer.
Yeah,
He's a hell of a guy. He's really dashing. I'd fuck him.
I mean, all right, next Wednesday. There we go. Sean,
Sean on
is his
Sean.
writer. Sean,
Sean is right.
Sean on Sean action. Tune
There you
in.
go. Don't threaten me with a good time.
But yeah, I mean that's what's cool about creating your world and watching all your supporting characters, and and what are you doing with them, and you diving into their backstory, and just it's an interesting thing developing a character, even if it's just a supporting character. When you start thinking like, what's this character about, what brought him to the point where I'm bringing him in, and then you can really start diving into that and bringing out their backstories. Writing is a cool process. Story creating. How about that? Story creating and world building is a really, really cool process. What up, LA? Good to
There you
see you,
go.
bro.
What's
Hope
up,
you're
brother?
doing well. So real quick before I forgot, so there was a project called Zombies Were Human 2 that I was a part of that is relaunching, and I think it relaunched today, and it's up to $1,400 already with
Wow.
33 backers. Yeah, all right, way to go. So this is
Very cool.
it's an anthology book. It's got a bunch of different writers and a bunch of different artists. Some really good names. I know like Adam Fields is one of the artists. My writer and I worked on a story together on it.
In this?
Yeah.
Oh, no
Is that
shit.
that's the right one, right? Let me
I
make
don't
sure.
know. News to me.
Yeah, Zombies Were Human 2, Volume 2, relaunch. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Really cool concept of the book. Basically, you're living in a zombie world. You got three kids that are holed up in a building, and the three kids or the two older kids tell stories to the younger kid, I think, is the concept of the book, to kind of calm him down. And so you break into the anthology stories, and it's all stories that they are telling this kid. And then that's when
Right.
the reader artist groups come in with their own short stories.
Oh, I
And
see your name.
where am I at? Oh, there I am. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Look at me.
All right.
That's before I started using the M. And that's actually my art right there. I don't know, you can't click on it. Nope. All right. But yeah, man, it's a really good book. Everybody go and back it. A lot of good people worked on this. A lot of talented people. Let's get it funded. Yeah, there's a page I did right there. So,
All right.
John Sontag, otherwise known, aka John. But yeah, check it
Is
out.
that your doppelganger?
That is my doppelganger. Although I have to say
Yeah.
that I am much sexier than John.
Okay.
It's just the way it goes, people. It's just the way it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah.
But Zombies Were Human 2, Volume 2, live on Kickstarter right now. Please check it out. Help us get this book funded and get it out into the hands of you fine people out there. Cheap plug.
Right on.
There we go.
Cheap plug. Oh, so Joe kind of gives me shit for being mostly digital these days, but
I do.
I started working on this Daredevil.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me bring this up here.
So
There we go.
at first, I was giving him big Frank Miller hands, but then let me try to tone it down. Got to figure out the gesture properly of that.
Like the Dark Knight Returns Volume 2, big hands.
Yeah, he'd be hanging on like a brick wall here, and then just funsies. Tell me how great I am, everybody.
Do it. He needs the ego boost. We all do.
Yeah.
No, but I love it.
Thanks. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Tell you more how much I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because, like you said, I have wanted to see you do more traditional stuff. Not that I don't like digital stuff, because digital stuff can look really good, but the things that you have shared with me, intimate things, but the art things that you have shared with me, when you start out with a sketch on traditional and then you transfer that to digital and you kind of finish it out. I've always kind of said this, that I think that the stuff you do traditional has more energy. And I think
Oh
there's
yeah.
sometimes it loses the energy when it's transferred and then redone digitally.
Yeah.
So I like the energy that you bring to a lot of your pieces. And I think that I just wanted to see you do like a piece start to finish traditional for once, because
Hmm.
I've seen so much digital stuff,
Hmm.
So I'm excited about this because of that reason.
Nice.
Damn right, nice.
So, what'd you get in the mail this week? What's your mail
Oh,
call?
okay. So check this out. So, because we've had so many guests on, or pretty much Brett Booth was talking about this book the other day, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. Now, long story short, I used to have this book when I was a kid. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, this is mine from when I was a kid. It's got like coffee stains and
This is
dirt
brand new.
stains.
So, hey.
Uh,
This is the holy grail right here. Teach you how to draw comics, teach you how to lay out pages, to shade, to do heads, dynamic figures. Speaking of which,
how
let me
to
show you how, how to
how
give
to
head,
do how to how to give head,
how to,
how to clean box.
everything a young kid needs to know growing up. All
Disney
right,
approved.
Disney, definitely Disney approved. Let me find a couple pages here that I think are really helpful for artists. I should have bookmarked these because I was like, I'm gonna show this page on the stream. I'm gonna do it, and now I can't fucking find it.
Which one is it?
It's the dynamic poses one, where it's just okay. Here we go. Found it. So stuff like this. Can we see this? Kind of dark in here. Stuff like this is really beneficial to just get in there and gesture drawing, where it's not a lot of detail. They're almost like glorified stick figures with some shapes. But if you start doing this, it can really improve your ability to draw different poses. As long as you understand, where all your proportions, your heads, your hands, your feet, your legs, and all that's supposed to be. But this book is it's a wealth of information. I mean, look at that pose right there. If you see stuff like this and you think, why does that look familiar? It's because all the great comic book artists that we grew up on in the 90s read this fucking book. And they took the lessons in this book and they put it into their art. And you see a lot of what they did, Brett Booth and all them. You see stuff like this. That's where it comes from. So check it out, people. I'm telling you, this is an awesome, awesome book. I'm glad that I got it again because I haven't looked at this book in years because I didn't have it. So now I got a chance to actually go back and read it again. I'm gonna start doing that more on a regular basis. Next thing I got, and I actually got this a couple weeks ago. This was a book I had when I was a kid. Also, my parents bought me just tons of stuff when I was younger because they were
You
feeding
spoiled cunt.
they were feeding my desire to be a comic book artist. And I got this book when I was just collecting comics, although I didn't realize at the time that I really wanted to be an artist, although I was drawing. And this book is great. It's the 5 Fabulous Decades of the World's Greatest Comics, Marvel, and it basically goes through the Golden Age, the Silver Age. Talks about it's got some wonderful art from old comic books in there, just kind of explaining stuff. But the thing that really excited me about this book, besides the smell, it's just got like this fucking awesome smell. It reminds me of a kid. Was, if anybody remembers when Spider-Man 1 came out by Todd McFarlane, broke records, they did a spotlight of that in here. But the thing that really got me was this right here. This is a breakdown of Spider-Man issue 1. I can't remember what page it is. It's probably on there, but I can't see from this angle. But this walks you through the loose pencils to the more semi-finished pencils, and then the finished version of the page. This right here, when I saw this, this was like a light bulb moment for me. This changed my life dramatically when I was a kid, when I could see what the process of making a comic book page was all about. And this, not only did it make Todd McFarlane at the time one of my favorite artists, but it drove me to wanting to become a comic book artist myself. So this book right here, if you can find it, if you're a fan of comics, you're a fan of Marvel, go pick it up. Pretty fucking awesome. And then, not
Hell
to
yeah.
hog all, hell yeah, hell yeah.
Hell
Not to
yeah.
hog all the time, but I got, oh, boom,
There
look
you
at that.
go. There you go.
Look at that beautiful shit right there. This is my new shipment of Eon boards. HD plate with the guidelines. This is the 130-pound book, so it's a little bit thicker. Handles racing very well. Look at all those. Look at that. It's about 3 different packs in there. So shout out to my mom, Gretchen Sontag, and my dad, Greg Sontag, for getting this for me. It was a welcome surprise to have this just show up. Really, really awesome. So I'm set now for at least 3 issues of this book. And it's got the beautiful Brett Booth, Adelso Corona, and Andrew Dahlhaus cover on that.
Yeah. I'll be getting mine in on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Wait a minute. I thought there was only 12 per pack. How many comes in the pack?
Just one, but like I'm assuming that if you order multiple packs, so my parents got me 3 packs,
That's what I got.
and they just
So
sent it
it's
all
like
together.
36 pages.
Should be, yeah. So yeah, I'm assuming they mail it this way just instead of getting like 3
No, no, no,
separate
no,
packs.
no, 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 no. What I mean, what I'm trying to pick up is, you're like, I'm ready for 3 issues. And I'm like, how many
Oh
pages are your book?
no, yeah, I'm sorry, not 3 issues. An issue and a half, roughly,
Okay.
depending. You know, yeah. Thank you for calling me on that because other companies have 24 pages. This only has 12. However, well worth the money to spend because those pages or those boards are hands down the best in the business. And I said this when Brett Thompson was on, who is the producer and maker of Eon Boards, Vortex Inc. And I am not lying. I wasn't just kissing his ass because he was a guest on our show. I
Yeah.
legitimately love those fucking products. So
Yeah, I'm excited to get mine in. That's really great. I'm trying to find. I have it around the image board. Here we go. All right.
oh yeah, this would
So,
be interesting.
well, I can't use it because
Well, still.
my size.
uh,
But you can
that's awesome
see.
though.
Hold on. Image
Yeah.
Comics, and it's cool because one side is for a double page spread. So if you here's one side, and then you do it that, so you get 2 sides, and then the other side is, I guess, a normal one for
Nice.
a regular. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
still, still pretty cool. Even if you can't draw on it, because like we
No,
were
I
talking.
can still
Oh, I mean, I
probably
guess
fuck
you could
around with
draw
it.
on it if you want. I mean, you could doodle on it if you could, or if you wanted to. But like we were talking about in that show with Brett Thompson, is that the image boards were this legendary board. They don't make them anymore. They don't produce them like that. Like the Eon boards are probably the closest you're going to find to those image boards. But everybody that drew on those boards in the image days speaks very highly of that paper. So something about that paper is like touched by God because
Yeah, no.
it's it's like El Dorado. You can't it's fucking legend. You can't find it.
So I have 3 examples. I have the image board here. It's pretty durable. It's pretty
Yeah,
durable.
you can tell by the
It's
sound.
not, yeah, it's not smooth, but it's not toothy.
Yeah.
And then I have a Strathmore,
Oh, there you go.
smoother. And then I have
Hmm.
I think this is old comic book art board from Canson.
I don't think I've ever
This
drawn on
one,
that one. That's
yeah,
not
it's
the
not.
manga one, is it? Is that the manga one?
I don't know, maybe because I have a manga one where it's really fucking toothy, but
Let me
this
see.
isn't it.
Oh, look real quick here.
Mm.
Oh, no. Yep. Okay. So it's this board, but this isn't the manga one. That board?
No, that's the one I have. I have that as well. That one's really toothy, I think.
Yeah, this one's. You know what I liked
This
about
one's
this?
not. This one's not. This one is actually
Oh, that one's different. All right.
a little more feel like image, but not as thick. Cause that shit's thick.
It is.
Like this is really thick. Like
I bet that's like 150, man. Because this Canson board that I just showed you was 150, which is why I bought it, and which I really liked it because it handled the racing really well. But it was very, very toothy. So
hmm
it was really hard to erase because it was so toothy, and it wasn't the easiest to ink on either because of that reason. So I still have more than half of that pack because I just couldn't. I mean, I've drawn things on it that came out well, but honestly, it's not my favorite to draw on because of the tooth. Yeah, when you draw on something smooth, especially like those Eon boards, they're just glide. They're so smooth, it just glides. You know, it's just like there's nothing like it. And for me, that's what I enjoy, and that's what I'm going to draw on from now on. Sponsor me, Brett. I love you.
we ain't shy or petty.
Yeah, I know.
We'll take
Which
what we get.
we're going to get Brett back on the show one of these days too. Brett Thompson, Brett Booth as well.
hmm
But Brett Thompson, they're producing that white ink that I'm really looking forward to checking out. So when I ink myself, I like using a lot of the white inks, and you can never really find good white ink like the gel pens. They're hit or miss. The white gel pens. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they go on nice and white. Sometimes they go on gray. Sometimes they go over themselves and knock the color out. It's just
hmm
I was using this stuff. Where's my camera?
Yeah, I got that.
This was nice, you know, but if Eon's coming out with something, I love their products and I'd rather use some of their shit. So looking forward to that.
For sure.
For sure, for sure. So what's up?
Sorry, just very. It's been a long week, long 2 weeks. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So,
it has, man. It definitely
yeah,
has. Well,
but yeah, yo,
we're here to pick you up. That's what the show is about. Keep the energy. Here to pick you up, lift your spirits. You know, so people, let's lift Sean's spirits here. Tell us a joke.
tell me,
Somebody in the comments, tell me a
tell me
joke.
how fucking good I am.
Tell him how good he is. Tell him how good looking he is. You know, just ladies in the chat. You know, you want to have Sean's babies. That's what I've heard. That's the rumor going around. Uh, so, I mean, you know, make him feel good. You know.
There you go.
So let's talk a little bit. It's been 37 minutes already, man. We're just flying by. So let's get back to a topic here.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit more about our projects before time runs out here. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the Type 1 story? We're done with the pitches. We did that last week and stuff. You know, let's dive in a little bit to what are you trying to achieve with the book? What's the overall story? What's your world building? You know, whatever you want to say. Give us a little
Essentially,
rundown.
just want to tell a really fun, action oriented story that from similar to the 80s, 90s comics that we grew up on, especially the 80s animated series I grew up on. Like I'm a huge animated head. Like I will just about I'm looking at my DVD collection about anything from my childhood, even Teddy Ruxpin, which was fucking epic. Yo, I
That
swear
was
to God,
that
like
was
just as epic as
hell
like
of it,
Lord of the Rings, but with like teddy
dude.
bears.
I loved that show when I was a kid. Loved it.
Yeah,
I still watch it
yeah.
if I can find it today.
Amazon.
Is it on Amazon?
I
I guess I've
bought
never
it.
tried extra. Really? Huh. I'm gonna have to look that up. I
Yeah.
have to look
So
into it.
anyway, with Type One, the genesis is my main character Thomas was down in Mexico on a research trip. Found a secret room with some advanced technology and a suit that will be known as Streeze. And I'm having a brain fart.
Mhm.
For the better of all mankind. No, you know, I just want to tell a fun, interesting story. I want to incorporate the character living with type 1 diabetes like I do. Like this December will be 25 years for myself. And just try to, give kids kind of like, I don't want to say hope, but like
Oh yeah.
something to look up to. Not me, 'cause that's not happening. But I want them to know that if when they're feeling down, when they have their highs or their lows from their blood spikes, and they feel like crap because it happens, they can read a fun adventure with somebody that's dealing with something that they're dealing with, and that's the main goal. And just to tell a fun story. Like I'm not
It's
like Brett said, like I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to give
right.
you Shakespearean poetry. Like 'cause I'm not that smart. I just want to have fun, man. And we were cool designs. Like it's clear what my influences are, which is a broad range of things, and just like it's an amalgam. You put it all in the melting pot and you fucking let it all out. And yeah, that's it.
And it's a really cool concept with the superhero that has diabetes, which to my knowledge I don't think has been done before.
Yeah.
So this
I
would be
gotta get
like,
it out there before Marvel steals it.
yeah, sons of bitches. Ugh. But that's a really cool concept, and I think that bringing in real world issues like that into a character, it can reach some people that maybe other characters are not going to be able to reach because you can relate in the writing aspect of that. That was actually going to be my question. So you're going to have what's your character's name again?
Thomas DeHart.
Thomas. Are you going to have Thomas deal with like the ups and downs of like diabetes? So that's going
Oh,
to be
it's gonna
like
be
a
very. It's
dynamic.
gonna, yeah, like not a spoiler, but from what happens in the first scene, he'll have to deal with the ramifications of that, and the Street armor kind of monitors him. So it's like blood level 78. You need orange juice. Like
Right?
your blood level is 285. You should take some insulin. You know, and it works itself out.
That's awesome,
And
man.
yeah, and there'll be somebody else dealing with it as well in the story that'll I all right, this is me blowing myself, but like it's like the whole like you remember when like no I can't. I'll tell you later, but yeah, I got something cool I think.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't want to give too much away.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah,
you.
yeah.
But what's really cool about the book is growing up, I had hypoglycemia, and
Yeah.
that's not it's not diabetes, but
It's a kick in the ass.
it was a kick in the ass. And like it was a blood sugar drop that there were times, man, where when it hit, I would literally be so weak that I couldn't stand, and it would just hit me anywhere. I could be at home, I could be out and about. I remember playing in the yard, playing football in the yard with my brothers, and then just all of a sudden just becoming so weak, so drained, I couldn't hold myself up anymore, and I just fell on the ground. I just laid there. My brothers had to pick me up and carry me in the house because I couldn't move that much. I mean, it was debilitating, um,
Yeah.
to say the least. So like it's something I can relate to as much as I can from just the experiences I had when I was a kid. It doesn't bother me as much as an adult because some people say that it goes away when you're an adult. Although sometimes I feel like I still every once in a while I might deal with it. But that kind of stuff it, it's a serious thing. A lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people deal with it. So to have a cool character with a cool story, with a relatable um, issue like that, I think is very cool that you're doing that. And it's very cool that you're writing it from the perspective you have, so you can really relate to people and put it out there. Raise awareness
Yeah.
with it too. That's awesome. So
And
besides being a cool action story, you're raising awareness for diabetes and stuff. So
yeah, and like the character is essentially me as a superhero, but
of course,
his name I took. Well, I didn't take. I asked permission of my buddy Aaron if I could use his uncle's name, who is no longer with us, who suffered from type 1 diabetes, and he's the one that got Aaron to be the geek that he is. So I wrote Aaron into the story as well. Like Aaron's a big part of the life, as you'll find out when you read it. But yeah, so just kind of pay homage and all that good stuff. And like the the cool thing was for Geeks at the Beach, what we were going to do for this year, but since we can't because of stuff, we were in talks with the Juvenile Research Diabetes Foundation, JDR, however it is, of Delaware. So we were talks to cross promotion just to get involved with that because that's huge in my life. And I just want the kids to be like, hey, look, I got something for you. Like,
Yeah.
let's talk it out. So
Yeah, it's awesome, man. That is really awesome. So we'll transition to a little bit backstory about Reaper Destroyer. So my book, I don't know if it's as noble as a cause as Sean's, but same,
I
same,
wouldn't say I'm noble, but you could.
and I will. Very noble. Same premise though. It's I grew up in the '90s when I really got into
He's got
comics.
gonorrhea.
you you ruined the surprise, man. That was the whole twist of the book. Now it's spoiled.
Yeah.
I grew up in the '90s, and I got into comics in the early '90s, like '91. Nah, probably. I mean, even the late '80s when I first started reading comics, before I was even knew what they really were. But I didn't start collecting comics and really getting into what the world was, where I'd sit in my room for hours on end just reading my collection. And everything that I took from that era, like from, let's say, 91 to 96, 97, somewhere around there, a good 5 year run or so, 5, 6 years. Uh, I'm taking all that and putting it into my book. And not just that, but stuff that I saw on TV or movies, anything that just captivated my. There was something about it. Maybe it's because I'm getting old. All right. I'm pushing 40. So when I say this, I feel like it's something an old person says, but I feel like it's true, man. That in my era, in my generation, music was better, movies were better, comic books were better,
Yeah.
and there's just so much of the entertainment world there in that decade that I don't see anymore, or at least not as much as I'd like. And I'm taking all that action, adventure, sci-fi, and I'm bringing it into my book. Best thing. Well, thank you. That means a lot. I like to think our show entertains people, and I hope it does.
It's a
Besides,
Friday.
Friday's going to be a very entertaining show when we get Mark on. But it's besides just looking at our sexy faces, and I'm not vain. I'm never vain, ever vain. But I do enjoy seeing myself on the screen.
I love
You know,
looking at myself. I'm not. I never
dude,
look at you. I just look at me.
I never. I didn't even know you were wearing like a. I don't even know what color shirt that was because I'm looking at myself the entire time. I'm like, God,
Yeah.
man, that sexy motherfucker
I just
right
hear
there.
you. I just hear
Fuck.
you. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I mean,
Just me.
I think that you look like me a lot because that's all I see. So
I think I'm talking to you when I'm looking at me, and I'm like, this guy is very good looking. Like, I'm not into the fellas, but if I was, that guy in the hat and the purple shirt, he could get it.
you,
You.
but and people think that this is just I get out of bed looking this good, which is true, I do, but I still have to put I still have to put some effort into it. I got to shave every once in a while.
Moisturizer,
Yeah,
yeah.
moisturizing, a little bit
Cocoa
of hair
butter,
stuff.
all of it. Yeah. Don't get to me with hair gel. It's a touchy subject. But it's
um,
funny you were saying like it's like our stuff in our day was better. It's because it was, and like I'll tell my little cousins this. I'm like, they'll be like, "Oh, you listen to this?" I'm like, "I have no idea what the fuck you talk about. Little something, big something. This guy." I'm like, "You need to listen to Tupac and Wu Tang, and then
yeah.
get back to me." And they do. They're like, "Yeah, you're
Yep.
right." I'm like, "I know."
Telling you, man, getting old sucks, but because all the stuff we liked is getting farther and farther away, but it still stays good to this day. That's how you know it's good, when it stays that good this long. So I'm taking all that stuff and putting it into my books. My book it's a very action sci-fi hero driven book, and So I was a huge fan of like Highlander when I was a kid. So I
There
always
can
loved.
be only one.
I was I always loved the idea of immortals, but not immortals that couldn't die. Just they could die, but they just lived for forever if they weren't killed in some kind of way.
Doesn't that kind of contradict it? Like they're not immortal. They're just kind of
Isn't there a different word then that they use? Not they weren't immortal. It was a different word that because there was immortal, which yeah, you can never die, and then there was something else. There's another word. If somebody knows it in the chat, let me know because I feel like an asshole because I can't think of it. But my concept was so Matthew Walker is the name of my character, the Reaper Destroyer. The costume they wears, the armor they wears, much like Stree's in that aspect, it's something that was infused on him. It fuses into his body. It becomes a part of him. The interesting thing about my character is he is trapped in this armor with this spirit that is trying to take over his soul. Now, what that is all about is there's a spirit called the Reaper Destroyer that goes back eons, eons to like the dawn of
like
time,
Eon boards.
like Eon boards and Vortex Inc. uh,
Whoa!
uh, there was a spirit that was called the Reaper Destroyer, which was an entity that used to cause destruction. There was eventually split into two characteristics. There were the Reapers and the Destroyers, and they inhabited bloodlines of these characters I have in the book called the Elder Sons. The Elder Sons are the original inhabitants of Earth. Like I'm talking about going back before Adam and Eve. And if anybody got into like there's this theory out there called the gap theory that there's a gap
Old
between
Navy, Banana Republic. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. But in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, they talk about like this gap between verse 1 and I think verse 2 or something like that, where there's supposed to be like this God creates the world and then blah 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 stuff happened. Well, my theory is that I'm going back and that there was an original race of humans that inhabited the world that warred with all the angels, and they were the ones that had high technology. They created like Atlantis, El Dorado, like all these legendary cities that are out there. And I also kind of based it a little bit like on Ancient Aliens, where they would talk about like the Mahabharata, whatever book that is, the Indian, I think it's an India book that talks about like these ancient wars of people that came from the stars and like nuclear weapons and all that kind of stuff. So I took a lot of that too, and I wrapped it up into the story that these characters that had technology way beyond ours that built all of the pyramids, all the all of that shit now that people say that we can't build in modern day, that these characters they're the ones that created all this stuff, and through war and jealousy and all this stuff they destroyed their world. But the thing about the Reaper Destroyer, the spirit, is that every 1,000 years, and I might tweak this a little bit. So anybody that's watching this stream, this is just some inside information. So this is just for you that I'm trying to sell the book to. So this isn't really going to go out there to too many other people. So you're only going to get this here, probably on the Fluffer and Stuff show. So every 1,000 years or so, the spirit inhabits one person, and that one person, whoever's bloodline they belong to, they rise up and they rule the world through violence and destruction. The spirit is pretty much it's unbeatable. So whoever has that power, they take over, they enslave, they do all that shit. So we find our character trapped inside this biomechanical suit of armor with this spirit, and is trying to take him over. Now the thing about Matt has no idea what the hell's going on with him. He lives in, or he's been this thing for 2 years. He suffers from PTSD from an incident that we'll get into in the book. I'm not going to spoil that because that's pivotal to the story. And he also has blackouts and short memory loss. And he has this feeling of one man, my main bad guy, Victor Reigns, because if you're going to have a bad guy, you have to have his name be Victor. Am I right?
Yeah, that sounds like a dick ass name. Yeah.
Somebody pointed that out. They're like, why are bad guys always named Victor? And I was thought about it for a second. It's like, you know what?
No, you're right.
And
Yeah.
it just came to me one day, Victor, but it sounded good. And I think it's because I was really big into the underworld movies. And that
Oh, I love those
the first
movies.
one
Yeah.
back then was Victor. You know,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that's fucking name. So there's something about Victor that is drawing Matt to him, but he never can quite get to Victor, but he always feels like Victor has the answers. But to make matters worse for Matt, he's constantly being attacked by monsters, which we'll get into why those exist, and other factions of the remaining elder sons that are in this world still that are trying to get Matt. He's a pivotal character for everybody, but Matt has no idea why. So it's a mystery that we're going to dive into together when you read the book.
You and
And
me.
you and me, buddy. You and me. So we're going to learn as he learns how important he is to the world today and how important he may be to the future of the world and what his decisions might do to shape mankind going forward for good or for evil. Dun 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 dun. Ah, a plan is forming.
Butterfly. So what's your process? Like, do you have it laid out plotted wise? Like when you talk to your writer after you guys get into your creative groove, do you go out, do you just scribble out notes? Like I remember Alex was saying he's got post-it notes
Yeah.
of stuff, of written stuff. And that's how I kind of do some stuff as well. But like, do you, or is it just like up here until you get to work on the page?
First of all, let me say, if my writer Joel is watching, I'm sure he's not happy that I just went that in depth into my backstory. But like I said, this is just for the people that support us. You know, I'm selling my book to you. Hopefully, you. So it's fine that you are in the
People.
you are in the backstage or the
you are in the presence of greatness, and
you are in the presence of greatness. That's right, man. I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to say it. But you were seeing the process as it unfolds when it comes to Sean and my projects. You know, like when we create stuff, we're going to talk as much as we can without spoiling the story for you. So you were in on the ground floor. So our process is, I came up with the plot, just thinking it out through many days of just what did I want to tell, how did I want to tell it, what did I want to have involved, and it started from like a really kind of small idea, very just kind of narrowed. This is what the book's about. And the more I kind of got into something, I would watch a video on conspiracies and I'd be like, oh, that's really cool. I should put that in my book, and like an idea would pop in my head.
And then you're hiding in the corner. You're like, they're everywhere.
Yeah. So I mean, there was like all those kind of things. So I just started having these like brain dumps with different things that would pop in my head about the book. And I'm like, that's really cool. How can I make that work? So I would add all this stuff in. And before I knew it, I had this giant story, but I didn't know how to tell it.
Right.
And so I had like all this backstory, all these different characters, their backstories. So I would write those out in depth, and I'd keep everything saved on like my little notepad app I have on my phone, so I could write it. I'd be at work sometimes, and something would pop in my head, and I'd be like looking around. I have to go to the bathroom real quick. Go in the bathroom and just be like typing real quick, trying to get all this stuff out real quick before I forgot it. But I would
30-page sex scene.
Exactly, highly graphic. But I would get all that stuff out, and when I finally talked to my writer, because I consider myself a storyteller, but I don't consider myself a writer just yet, because there's a lot of things that I have a high respect for writers, and we can talk to Mark about this on Friday.
I think you mean no. Hear me out. You're a writer, a storyteller, because you're writing out the story. Scripting is another process.
Yeah, absolutely.
You put the words to the mouth. You're like, because like Rob says it. He's the writer where he's like he figures out the story. He plots it out. It's written.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point. That's good. That's a good way to put it. Like,
it's a great way to put
it.
I'm glad I brought it up.
Put it. And again, I'm looking at myself when I say this because
I'm just looking at me.
Sexy. Fuck. Good Lord. But yeah, I mean that's
great genes.
That's a great way to put it, because when it comes to writing, and the reason that why writer is like a scripter, somebody that can take the story, because in comic books we have a finite amount of space to fit everything. And the traditional page count of a comic book is usually about 22 to 24 pages.
You
So,
gotta fit it all in there.
and that, yeah, you got to draw it all on there too. So, when you have a story like that, it's easy to just to say like, oh, I want to do this in issue one, I want to do this, and blah blah blah, going on forward how many ever issues. But when you actually break it down, like you've got so many pages, you have to tell a story, you have to character build, and you have to get the reader to care about your character. Otherwise, they're not going to read the book. So when I sat down with Joel, I threw everything at him. I was like, this is what I want to do in issue one. And he was looking at it, he's like, dude, those are really good ideas. He's like, but he's like, to really,
I
to
hate
get the
I hate it when I get
like
the
I hate them
butts.
all.
No,
No,
like when
but
people like butt, I'm like, what the fuck are you about to say? And it can just ruin our friendship.
well, I mean, but what he said was very
See,
true,
yeah,
and it
the butt. No, yeah.
yeah, but it really opened my eyes to writing, and it's like I have a certain amount of characters, I have a certain amount of room. What is
Sure.
important to the first issue, and what is important for establishing your characters? When I write, I think of it like a TV show, like an hour-long TV show for a season. You got your episode, you got your your season-long story arc. That's how I write it. So I'm thinking of everything you could do in a TV show. Well, this isn't a TV show. It's a comic book with 22 pages, and you have to fit that information on in that space. So what Joel came in, and a good writer will come in and be like, I see what you're trying to do here. Here's our overall story, but here's how we're going to approach issue one. And here's what we need to establish. You need to establish your main character, your main bad guy. We have to give a little bit of a reason why everything's going on, and we have to give an entertaining enough of a teaser that's going to suck you into the story and make you want to buy issue two. You know, so that's where a writer can really come in to pace a comic book. Pacing is very important when you're writing. As you know, Sean, and to anybody out there that doesn't know, when you're reading a comic book, you want to have something that's going to pull your eyes to the next page because you want. Somebody might think that, be like, well, aren't you going to turn the page anyway because you're reading the book? Yeah, it's probably true. But when you're reading, you want the anticipation that when you turn that page, you're going to get the payoff on that first panel of the next page, and then so on and so forth. And so you have to set up your pages like that. So it can't just be anything you want to throw in there. You got to make sure that your action at the end of a page is going to lead to the action at the top of the next page. So it's going to keep you wanting to turn, whether it's a fight scene or whether it's a dialogue or a scene change, whatever. All that stuff has to be factored in and put into the book. And that's where Sean, or a good writer, is going to come in and really take your concept and make it readable. Or Joel, sorry. Yeah. Like, that's where Joel, or a good writer, is going to come in and take that, make it a very readable book, and then me as an artist, it's my job to make sure that it's entertaining to the eyes. If that made sense.
I can pick up what you're putting down.
Flunk. So I'm not sure where I was going with all that, but that's just a little bit of a. Oh, yes, for the process. That's
Yeah.
basically what the process is. You get all that stuff together, and either if you're writing it yourself, like I know Sean, you're writing it yourself, you just pick up from where you do all your story building, and then you just start writing the issues. And you start crafting the story. And I work with somebody else, but it's basically still my story. It's still how I plotted, and someone else is just kind of bringing it together the way that I want it brought together.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Like I don't need to go in as detailed as you and Joel do because I know it. Like I'll gesture out a shape and be like, "That's that," with a little
right,
note, or I'll go on my phone and plot stuff out. But I know what's up with the what's up, so it's a
yeah,
little bit easier on my end because I know what's going to go down there. But like I for a project that my cousin and I are working on, Wingspan with Michael Mott, plugging it. I went in and I wrote out the full description, essentially panel to panel, and all that. I sent it to you, but Just so both him and I could be jiving on the same aspect
Yeah.
because we're both writing it, but I'm doing the art. So I'm like, let me just,
Yeah.
I'm taking our text conversations, copy and pasting it, and then tweaking it into what everything is.
That's kind of, Joel and I do it the same way where, so it's my story, my character. I know where I want to go with it. And I am doing the art. So the way he and I work is we sit down and we have meetings about what we want to do with the book. And it's basically he's more just kind of asking me questions to get me to think of how I want to bring stuff out. So it's like a therapy session, but with story. Uh, and then when we get it all set, he'll go write the scripts. But the way he writes the scripts is the best way I work, which is the Marvel method way, where we just talk about what we want to do per page. So when we have the idea for the book, he'll go and write the script, and I will read the script. And if it's just like everything that I wanted to do, it's good to go. But what he'll basically do is just give a description of what we're doing on the page. That still allows me as the artist to panel it out the way I want to, and draw it the way I want to. There's no like, it's not like working with a writer that's like panel one or page one, panel one, establishing shot, worm's eye view, a man walking through an alleyway. In the back of him, there's a broken window with a cat sitting in it, and a garbage can to the right of him. Like all this kind of detail, which, in my opinion, doesn't make it fun as an artist to just draw everything that's dictated to you by a writer. I like to have the freedom to say, this is what we're trying to do, and now let me accomplish it. Let me get the camera angles, let me establish the panels the way I want to, and without being under handcuffs of, having to do it exactly like, or as most as you can to what a writer wants you to do, which is why I like working on my own stuff. I could do that.
Me too. I like firing people.
Firing
I'm
people's
kidding.
good.
I'm kidding. I've
I mean,
never
yeah,
fired anybody.
you're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired. You're fired. Wait, let me work on that again. You're fired.
You're fired. Is that how we?
No. I want to do it my own
Fine.
ways.
Oh, okay.
Hey, do it the friendly way. Hey, you're
Hey,
fired. You're fired.
get the fuck out.
Well, all right, man. We've been going for over an hour. So, again, every week that anybody checks this out and comments, we really appreciate that because,
Yeah, thank you so much.
yeah, it's really nice.
It makes it fun.
It does. It does. I guess, I mean, we're going to be goofy and stupid anyway, but the more people comment, the more goofy I'm
You
going to
see
get.
us?
Yeah.
We're fucking hams. Yeah, that's what it is. Like, we should have done this longer ago.
Oh, man, we should have. But we're doing it now. That's all that
We're
matters.
doing that. We need to get in touch with Mr. Bill and Ted and see if they'll help us out.
Yes,
We can go back in time
we should.
and make magic happen.
Speaking of which, you see that trailer?
I
Bill and
loved
Ted
it.
3? Fucking
It was awesome. Can't
awesome.
wait.
I
wait.
showed it to my wife, and I was just like, there was something when I was watching it. I was like, it was like a kick in the nuts of nostalgia, but it felt good, and I loved it. I was like, I can't wait to see it. I don't think I've been this excited to see a movie probably since
Babe.
What?
Babe.
Babe, like the story about the pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there you go.
I'm not
Babe.
judging you. Look, you like what you like. It's fine with me.
But no, I mean, it's really cool to see Keanu Reeves, and I can never remember the other actor's name, but reprise those
The guy
roles.
from something from Lost Boys.
Yeah, the little one from the Lost Boys. Like that's the only other thing I think I've seen him in. But
Marco.
yeah, it's really cool to see them reprise those characters and just bring it back. So I'm extremely excited about that. I can't wait to go see it, and everybody check out the trailer. Sean, brother, where can we find you?
Sean Aaron, Instagram. Sean Aaron, Facebook. Sean Aaron, Twitter. Sean Aaron, YouTube. Sean Oh, UPS arrival. I think that's my shit. Yeah, you can also find me on Fridays and Saturdays, depending on schedules, on Mark Portland, Primetime Portland's channel, The Best Friend Show, that we do with Phil McNulty, and also Dudecast, where Mark and I do a show about Michael Dudikoff, the you would know as the lead actor from American Ninja, who is an American hero and should be have statues of him all across, well, at least in Delaware. Spice his fucking state up a bit, give us something. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And Joe, where can we find you on the interwebs?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I'm on DeviantArt. I'm on ArtStation. Yeah, it's out there, man. Social media sites. Type in Joe M. Sontag. You're gonna find me somewhere. And don't forget to subscribe and like to our YouTube channels. It is actually really important, especially for.
I'm at 349. I need one more person.
Let's get Sean to 350 and push to 400. I'm still looking for. I finally cracked 100, which is nice.
Nice.
I think I'm at like 111. So I'd really love to get to 150 and keep pushing.
112, where the players dwell. Yeah.
112. That's where the real shit is, right there.
Mm-hmm,
But it really is important to get subscribers and likes to our videos, especially in the Ott and Stuff show that we stream from both of our channels, because that's going to get the show out there more. It's going to get more eyes, and we've got some really good guests on. We're going to keep on booking good guests. We got some good surprises.
With some yeah. Yep.
When they actually come through, we got some fun surprises. Hopefully we'll announce at some point, but it's just, you got to cut through all the red tape and all that good shit. But it does help.
People got schedules.
Yep. Subscribe, like, share, do all that kind of stuff. If you see us on Facebook, just take the time to find us on YouTube, like our pages. I would really appreciate that. Sean would really appreciate that. And who knows? We'll be excited about it. Somebody else.
This should be called Gobblers and Jizz.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody would check the show out if it was called that, but this is the Fluffer Show. We are getting you ready for Friday's show. So
with Mark Polton.
Mark Polton. Prime time motherfucking Polton.
Motherfucking Polton. Mark motherfucking Polton.
And for anybody that's interested, I'm going to do on my YouTube channel sometime next week. Might be Tuesday, might be Thursday. But I'm going to do another JMS Roundhouse discussion. So any of our friends out there.
What are you talking about? What are you going to talk about?
So Sean will be there. But I want to talk about a interesting subject.
What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about Stan Lee versus Jack the King Kirby. Now,
Jack
the
Kirby
title.
All day. Jack Kirby all the way. Jack Kirby.
Save it for the discussion, man.
I'll go back into there and be like Jack Kirby.
Exactly. But I would like to get some writers on. I'd like to get, most of the people we know are artists. It'd be kind of cool if I get some writers on. But I'd just like to talk about the impact. See, I don't want to have like this. I know it says the title is going to be versus, but it's not like who is better or anything, because they were a fantastic team when they worked together. I know they had a falling out and they came back together later on in life and patched things up. But I would like to have the discussion on the bigger impact in the industry, because it is a good discussion. It really is a good discussion when you think about the different roles that they played in the industry. But I'd like to discuss those two legendary characters and how sometimes they might get mixed up a little bit in today's culture with what they actually did. Like Jack, he gets lost a lot because of the monster character that Stan Lee became. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about all that good shit. So I thought it would be a good topic for the Roundhouse discussion. So maybe next Tuesday, maybe next Thursday. Yes. Well, tune in every Wednesday for the Fluffer and Stuff show, because that's what this show is all about. We're gonna have some nonsensical fun. So anyway, yeah. So check that out. Next Roundhouse discussion. Any of our friends out there that want to join, I can have up to 4 other people on this stream besides me and Sean. So join in. It'll be a fun discussion. I would really like to see what people's opinions are. All right. Sean's ADD is kicking in. We are going to kick out of here. And until
Next time.
next time, because I still don't have a way to end the show. Not like we do in the Odd Stuff show. So this has been Fluffer and Stuff. It just doesn't have the
Fluffer
same.
and stuff. Like we going scissor, we going fluffer.
So this has been the Fluffer and Stuff show, and we will see you this Friday with Mark motherfucking Polton. Prime time
Prime
at
time. Let me puff my
8:30.
camera. I think I need to put like a sticker just so I can know when I point. Okay. Adios.
All right. See y'all later. Peace.